We're heading out onto the streets of Buena Park again. This is Crime Watch.
Hello, I'm Corey Sinez. I'm your police chief here in the city of Buena Park. And I want to make sure I keep you updated on things that your Buena Park Police Department is doing to make sure that we continue to provide the highest level of service to you as community members. So recently, over the past 3 years, your police department has been going through an accreditation process. And this accreditation process is through CALEA. And CALEA stands for Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies. It's a national recognized accreditation process that only a few agencies in the country have been able to be accredited through this process. Back in 2013, June of 2013, a couple of years after I'd become chief here, I wanted to make sure that our department was doing what they were supposed to be doing and was following best practices and best standards. So I did some research into CALEA and went to the City Council and asked them to approve us moving forward with the accreditation process through CALEA. So since June of 2013, we have been going through what they call a self-assessment process here at the police department with CALEA. And that means that there's over 400 standards that CALEA requires police departments to have, and we have to make sure that our current policies and procedures match those standards. And it's quite a egregious process to go through because we have to change a lot of our policies and procedures. And so we've just recently done that, and we've had what they call an on-site inspection. And that on-site inspection is where we have two objective outside CALEA accreditors come into our police department and take a look at our entire operation, our buildings, our policies and procedures, and what they do is they make sure that we are meeting their standards. And I'm happy to say that just a couple weeks ago we went through that process and we pretty much got a thumbs up that everything was good. There were no issues whatsoever, and we are looking forward to going to a conference, a CALEA conference in Baltimore, Maryland at the end of July to receive our accreditation. Now this is a huge, huge accomplishment for our police department. And it's not saying that we were very good. We were a great police department, but there's always room to improve. And it's always good when you have somebody from the outside come in and take a look at what we're doing, making sure that we're doing it right and that we're meeting those high standards that you as community members expect from us. So sometime after the end of July, we will hopefully receive accreditation through CALEA. And I know that the City Council is looking at doing some kind of celebration to recognize the police department for that great accomplishment. And the credit goes to the men and women here at the police department who day in and day out just do a phenomenal job to provide public safety service to this community. And there's a couple of individuals in our department that were assigned as accreditation managers that really put out a lot of effort and really pushed the organization to make sure that they met the timelines that CALEA requires for us to get this all done. But I'm happy to say that July will be the time we will receive accreditation, and I'm really, really excited about it. So you should be excited about it because your kids, your children go to accredited schools. And I always say, why wouldn't you want your police department to be accredited? Why wouldn't you want them to meet the highest standards and follow the best practices, national best practices in this nation? Because I believe we should, and we do. And so I'm really proud of it. I'm really proud of our department. I'm really proud of the men and women here. And I'm looking forward to after July to be an accredited agency. So I will keep you up to date. And in my next Chief's Corner, I hope to give you a little bit of follow-up on whether or not we received accreditation. I'm very confident that we will. And then we'll have another topic to talk to you about. So thank you very much and be safe.
I'm in the area that audible on El Viento. I got a 925 vehicle out on the service road.
9:30.
7 Juliet November Sierra 830. Can't see anybody moving around there.
Robert, you're the owner of this house.
Yes.
What difference does it make to have the police department come here when the alarm is activated?
Oh, it makes me feel a lot comfortable just in case there is an intruder that, someone would be able to take care of it. I don't come here armed or anything, so, if they had a weapon, I could be endangered.
Sergeant Lovechick, what happens when an alarm activation occurs, but there's no reason for the alarm going off?
Well, there may not be an apparent reason, like for example, if you saw a door kicked in or a broken window or something like that. There might be something more hidden that we don't know about. Like for example, this particular alarm indicated that was a garage door, and it sounded like it was an interior garage door. So we wouldn't really be able to see how that inside the door might have been broken into. So what we'll do though is we'll still look around the property, make sure that there's no obvious signs of entry. If there isn't anything like that, then we just have to leave. And when the homeowner does get home, if there's something that he discovers or she discovers, then they can call us back.
So what you got home while we were waiting for another officer to show up, nothing seems to be disturbed in the house?
I took a look at where the door would be opened if they were to enter the garage, and then the interior door I knew where. My brother actually called me and told me what door it was, so I made sure that was open before I went in or anything.
And you and the other officer were standing by. Does the police department have any type of a warning or a citation or anything when alarms are activated?
The majority of the alarm calls that we get are false alarms, and it does use up resources, so we do have to keep track of it. It's not really a citation or a warning or anything like that. It's basically a little form that says, hey, we were out at your property today, that your alarm went off. Obviously the homeowner's here today, so we were able to give it to him in person, but normally we'll just leave it in a mailbox or under a door or something like that. But it allows us to keep track of the false alarms that do happen in the city. And unfortunately there are some houses that are, and businesses too, that are more bigger violators, I guess you can say, of the false alarm. So because some places we go repeatedly. So we do have to keep track of that, and at times if they do go over a certain amount, they can get fined.
But having an alarm just makes you feel a little bit more safe, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It's like an extra monitor just to watch over the house while we're gone, at least. All three of us work very different schedules, working at a hospital, nights, days. Sometimes there's nobody here at a time, so just to have someone watching over doors really is a good thing.
And the police department's ready to respond when needed.
Absolutely. Their alarm system is a great deterrent. That's the way I look at it. Is you figure if a burglar was breaking into the house and it sets off the alarm, it makes them go away. That's really what you want them to do. You don't want them inside your house rummaging around.
Buena Park Police Department has quite a few new officers, and it's interesting to see all the new officers that are out on the streets.
Absolutely, and it's great that we got a lot of new young people coming in here because you got old people like me on their way out. But I was there once myself, so I know exactly what this young man is going through.
Well, welcome to the department, Officer Delgadillo. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Why did you want to be a police officer?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for this time. Just something about being out here, serving the community, helping other people, doing something for other people that really I really liked. I'm the oldest of 6, so being that role model to everybody out there and to my brothers and sisters, that's the reason why I got into this career.
How was the police academy?
It was very tough. It was very long, very tough. But it was a lot of hard work. I had support from the police department, Buena Park, and with the support of my family. But I'm not gonna lie, it was one of the hardest things I ever went through.
So how is it being an officer on the streets? Is it what you expected?
Yeah, it actually is, but also at the same time, it's a different view. Being out here with other people, trying to figure out their problems and trying to solve them, and try to make a difference.
I know the Buena Park Police Department really loves the fact that they have officers that speak different languages to be able to reach out to different parts of the community, and you speak Spanish. Do you want to say something to our Spanish viewers in your language that maybe encourages them to know what this is all about?
Yeah. Mi nombre es Delgadillo. Yo tengo 23 años y aquí estamos para ayudarles a ustedes, y en cada problema que ustedes tienen, nomás nos puede llamar a 911, y aquí estamos a ayudar a ustedes y en todo lo que podemos hacer para ustedes. Y somos sus amigos, no tengan miedo de nosotros, estamos aquí para ofrecer su ayuda.
And for those of us that don't speak Spanish, what did you say?
Well, basically, we're here to help with everything that's going on with the news. Don't be afraid to call us. Just, we're here to help them.
It's important to have officers that can reach out to different parts of the community.
Absolutely, absolutely. Spanish and Korean are primary, secondary languages around here. Obviously, English is the primary language that's spoken within our community. But we're seeing such a big influx of the Korean population, and even with the Hispanic population, that it's great to have people that can speak the languages and be able to communicate like this with all the people that are coming to our city.
Have you had an opportunity to use Spanish with some of the calls you've gone on?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I've been here to help other officers translate, and I've handled some calls by myself in my language. And the reaction that the citizens get when they see a Spanish speaker, bilingual officer, it's a good reaction because they have that connection with me that they might not have with other officers. So we build that trust within the community, and I'm able to resolve the problem, I would say, a little bit easier.
It's all about making the community understand they can trust the officers, right?
Absolutely, absolutely, especially in their most comfortable language, rather than them trying to speak English, which might be secondary to them and not be able to get their point across. It's great to be able to have people like Officer Delgadillo here to be able to listen to their issues or their problems in their own language and maybe be able to get a lot more out of it than I could.
Sergeant, there was a call here at the station that you offered to take. What is this?
Well, there was a report of a hit and run that happened in the parking lot at Knott's Berry Farm. And the call indicated that car was parked and the owner came out after a day at Knott's Berry Farm and found some damage to her car. The call indicated that no idea who was doing or who caused the damage, but she also reported that there was another car that appeared to have been parked next to her or nearby her that was probably stricken by the same car.
Well, Jessica, tell us, because I can't even imagine what it feels like to come out to your car and you see a scrape that wasn't there. It's not even a scrape. It's
That's straight damage, and I honestly don't even know where to begin with any of this. I talked to the security guards there. They're not going to do much because it's written on their stuff that they're not liable for anything that happens there. So till I can figure out what to do about this, it's on me and my insurance, unfortunately.
And you said there was another car that also...
There was. The vehicle looked like what hit mine was the vehicle in between mine and the other vehicle that was hit, and it was parked in front of my vehicle, and it looked like they had hit the passenger's rear view mirror off of the other vehicle.
It's tough, isn't it, when people, sometimes people leave notes when they hit another car, but...
On occasion, you do get that, and they will leave their contact information saying, sorry, I hit your car, here's my name and phone number, and that actually does happen every now and then. We'll get called out on it, and as long as they're able to work things out with the person, between each other, then there's really not a whole lot more that we do. It's more of a civil matter at that particular point.
So it doesn't matter how much damage, little or great, it's just because there's no suspect, it's just what it is.
You're responsible for any damage that you that you cause. Whether it's small or big, it doesn't really make a difference. The law says that you are required to stay at the scene of an accident and at least try to make an effort to contact the owner of a car. But in cases like this, where we don't have any investigative leads, there's no license plate, we don't even know what the kind of a car there was that had hit the person. There's security cameras within the parking lots at Knott's, but there's some areas that do not have it. However, we have to be able to have something that we can investigate. If you see a white car driving away from your car after it hit you, that's all good, but I need to have like a license plate. That way we can find out who the owner of the car is.
What happens if the owner of that other car is identified? If there is a good lead, is there any penalty, or what happens to them?
Well, the person could be held criminally liable for fleeing a scene of an accident, which called hit and run, basically. Depending on the amount of damage that is done, if somebody is hurt in a collision and somebody leaves, then it becomes a felony. So leaving the scene of an accident when somebody gets actually physically hurt, that's some pretty big trouble. Now, property damage, it might not be as serious of a punishment or a crime. However, that person could be held civilly liable as well too. They could be sued by the owner of a car if they were able to find out to be able to pay for their damage, especially if they didn't have insurance or if they're not willing to pay for the damage that they caused.
Jessica, you and your family had a good day at Knott's Berry Farm, though, right?
Yes, we did. It's always a great time at the park. We have passes. It will not deter us from going back. It will just make me park where I have to pay the $25 so I know it's secure.
That's tough, isn't it? It's just not fair.
It's frustrating because, this is your property, this is your stuff, and somebody hits it and doesn't even have the courtesy to try to right the wrong that they did. So, but unfortunately, we're seeing it quite a bit.
At least you have a nice police officer.
Right.
There you go.
That's right. Thank you so much.
If you have any questions about tonight's show, you can call the Buena Park Police Department at 562-3901. With Sergeant Mike Levchick of the Buena Park Police Department, I'm Jane Cameron. Thanks for watching.
Be sure to like us on the official City of Buena Park Facebook page and follow us on Twitter. There you'll find a little of everything from information about our city services and upcoming events to discounts offered by our entertainment attractions such as Knott's Berry Farm, Medieval Times, and Pirates Dinner Adventure.